Yo, what's going on everyone? It's Brian here with DrinkABeerandPlayAGame. Today, I'm giving you my first impressions of the PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, also known as PUBG. Obviously, I don't need to spend a lot of time on the background. This was a massively successful game on Steam's early access with over 20 million copies sold, something like that. And even on Xbox One, which is the version I'm reviewing today, it's sold like gangbusters, so it's widely popular. The quick gist of the game is that you and 99 other players are dropped off from an airplane onto this map, which is huge by the way, in a battle royale style player versus player. You can have teams of 2 or a whole squad, or just go at it alone. Your goal is to survive till the end, while you're exploring the map looking for new weapons, armor, and anything else that can help you win. I also want to just throw in there that this happens to be based on potentially one of my favorite movies called Battle Royale, which is where they got the concept for this game. So if you've never seen that movie, go out and watch that because it's actually pretty damn entertaining. I'm not really going to be offering probably anything that drastic of a new opinion, and to be honest, I don't really watch reviews of this game because it's still in a beta phase, especially for the Xbox. So there's not really a reason to complain too much about this game. I just wanted to mention a few specific things, so let me just go ahead and get into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and first just address the things right off the bat that just have to be fixed. The most obvious are the graphics. Now, I really don't care the fact that the graphics aren't great or that the draw distance doesn't look good and the textures look like shit. What I do care about is this goddamn texture pop-in when you first jump off the plane. You go down, you open your parachute, you land, and then you gotta wait for the buildings to generate their textures before you can go in them. You could rush in and go in an unfinished building and then end up getting stuck in a couch like I did, and when it pops you out, it says you died from a fall. So yeah, that's a pretty big problem. The obvious amount of lag that can be generated in this game is insane. You'll be running along, everything will be fine, and then all of a sudden you'll be jittering across the screen, which can result in you getting killed. And in a game like this that's already so brutal, you don't need little technical difficulties screwing you up anymore. So let's talk about some of the things I really like about this game. Well, the first thing, just how goddamn unrelenting it is. The smallest mistake will result in a death. You will spend 20 minutes or more finally getting the right amount of gear. You actually have some good weapons, some good armor, and you get sniped from across the map. Or you enter a house and a guy's just laying on the ground with a shotgun. Or you get run over. There's so many ways to die, and this game requires you to be so careful. You have to really be aware of your environment, of sound, the sounds you generate, so there's really no room for screwing up. Because of that, the amount of suspense and tension in this game is so palpable that even though it's such a huge map, you never feel safe going into a house that first time. You know, you never just want to rush in. Like, you could be like me and do that, and then you're gonna die. So every time you keep playing, you continue to learn little tricks about this game. As an example, I didn't realize that a car could get blown up so fast. Usually I would just shoot people out of cars, but then someone was shooting at my car, it blew up, and I died. Okay, that's an obvious one. Another obvious one is now you can shoot through doors, or, you know, there's just so many little tips that you learn as you keep playing, so it is really tough. And for those of you who follow us on Twitch, you know I'm still trying to get that #1 spot winning that chicken dinner, so it's going to be a little while for sure. The other thing is I really like the size of this map and the amount of details in each building. Sure, a lot of them are recycled, but I just appreciate something this large with this many players going on at the same time. And finally, the best thing I like about this game, honestly, are just the number of weapons. It's not astronomical, but there are plenty of things to upgrade your weapons, ranging from grips, magazine extenders, to sights. So there's a lot of customization options, but you really just kind of have to get lucky. Now let me go on to some of the specifics that I really don't like about the game. First one, gonna be semi-controversial, but I'm not really loving the third-person view. Now let me be specific. I don't like the third-person view, the ability to move your camera around. For a game that is so ridiculously realistic in the amount of times you get shot, how much you run, how much you can carry, It's kind of silly that you can run up to a building, spin your guy around, and because of the camera, look in and see exactly where a guy's hiding. I think that kind of cheapens the game and the experience for these players that are obviously going for a little bit more of a hardcore system. And also in third person, sometimes the gun controls just feel a little sticky. You can switch to first person, but let's be honest, when you're in first person mode, it's not like Call of Duty or Halo or any modern first person game you're used to. The controls are a little stiff there too. So the other thing is the inventory system itself. While I praise the game for how much you can pick up, this game was obviously just done much better on the PC. It doesn't lend itself that well to picking up items, and I'm sure they'll tighten it up and make things a little bit easier and faster to use, but as of right now, not thrilled about that. And speaking of inventory, one thing I really don't like is medicine or item use or even reloading in this game. As you start an action, you can't move, you really can't do anything. You have to stay completely still. The amount of times I've killed people and been killed myself while using an item, it's kind of ridiculous. So it's not a ton that I don't like about this game, but those are some things that I know probably won't be changed that much, but they're just little annoyances. And finally, I'm going to call this last piece my suggestions or wish list. Not that the developers will ever see this video or that this will really get changed, but these are things that would really, I think, enhance the game and make it a much better playing experience. First thing, have multiple options for your game. I do enjoy the fact that you can get into games really fast, so I appreciate that, and maybe adding in options might muddle up that system, but maybe add in things like make the storm come quicker, make the map a little smaller, maybe have no vehicles. Just give it something so that maybe, people just want to get right to the gunfire. For me, honestly, it would be limit this storm or make it take longer. Something that allows for a little bit more exploration. I don't know. I think having some options in the game would only increase its replayability and bring even more people in. The next thing, the reward system. Depending on how long you survive, how many kills you get, you earn currency. But honestly, the couple times I've used it so far, I've gotten shit. I've gotten duplicate red shirts, some pants. I feel like just the amount you earn versus how much those reward systems cost, it's kind of ridiculous, especially since what you're getting rewarded with isn't anything that actually helps you in the game, at least not that I can tell. It's just cosmetic, so maybe don't make it so expensive. And finally, I wish there was some kind of actual sneaking ability. This game is driven so much by sound that even if you're crouching, crawling, you're making a ton of noise. And in a game where you collect different shoes, you should be able to have some attributes associated with those noise. So if you're using heavy boots, maybe that will allow you to carry more, but it'll generate more noise. So just do something where there's actually a point to sneaking. Otherwise, even if you're crouching, you make it the tiniest bit less noise, it's still loud as hell, especially now that everyone uses crazy headphones that can hear every little decibel throughout the entire map. Overall, this is a game that can be incredibly frustrating. And although I still have yet to win a match, I keep coming back because sometimes I do get some pretty cheap deaths, but I always feel like, okay, maybe this time is my time. What's nice is the randomness of this game will really boil down to luck for some people and unluckiness for others. Some people, I'm sure, will claim that it's all about skill, and it's really not. In some cases, I've started off maps in a little town, and it wasn't until the third house where I found a weapon, and there was somebody waiting there for me. So there's a whole lot to like about this game. It's definitely not going to be a game for everyone. It can be frustrating, as I said, but if you're looking for a no thrills, kind of just player versus player battle royale style, give it a try. But honestly, I'd probably wait till the game is finished and save your money until then.